Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday morning to you all. Hope you all are having a great start to your day, a great work week so far. As always, I got you an update for this morning on what the weather could look like for today, for your Wednesday, May the 18th. So, we're going to talk about some things. Not a whole lot going on today. There is a chance for some severe weather in parts of the Mid South, southern sections of the Ohio Valley. Like Kentucky could definitely see some severe weather here in the coming hours this afternoon. And then we're just going to talk about everybody as a whole. Nothing has really changed. We're just going to break this down for you guys. I appreciate the continued support. And, we're just rocking and rolling through the year. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Appreciate the ongoing support in all the ways that y'all do. And if you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. It seems like more and more people are doing that now. So that's what we're called to do. We're called to come to the God, with our issues. And sometimes even when things are going great, just thank Him. A lot of times we as humans forget to do that. So definitely never forget to do that when everything seems to be going perfect. Definitely thank Him for it. So let's get going this morning. Not a whole lot to talk about, but one thing that's going on right now is a big blow up of convection, and really it's dying convection, meaning storms that are just kind of losing some steam in areas of southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. This will be the leftover energy that pulls into areas of Kentucky today that could promote some severe weather. So really that's the only big eyesore right now on the lower 48. Everywhere else, you got a new system coming in the Pacific Northwest that's going to bring some moisture here in the coming hours if it's not already. Outside of that, not a whole lot going on. But you look at the radar for Missouri, the Springfield, Missouri radar. This is starting to get out of range of the Springfield area, but outflow boundary kind of kicking off ahead of this decaying line of storms, but it's not going to be decaying for long. It's going to refire up, especially as it gets in areas of western Kentucky here in the coming hours. And this is the energy that's going to move into Kentucky, like I said, this afternoon, and then refire up, and we could have some severe storms for sure. And in fact, let's go and look at the Storm Prediction Center. You have a slight risk up for this very small section. It's not super small, but relatively speaking, about, I would say half of Kentucky has a slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5, a marginal risk surrounding it. You also have a chance for some severe weather up here in areas of the north central U.S. and the western areas of the Great Lakes region too, that we can talk a little bit about, that I just reminded myself of, that I did not pull a panel up for that area. So I will probably be doing it in the middle of the video. I don't like to do that, but sometimes you got to. But anyways, a slight risk up for Kentucky, so we need to watch out. There is a very small tornado threat, 2% risk. Even up here in this marginal risk today, a tornado threat. I wouldn't even hardly call it a threat, but there is a risk, right? 2% chance, 25 miles in any given location in this area. Wind threat, a little bit elevated right into here where there is that slight risk, where I think there'll be just a line of storms that sweeps through areas of Kentucky a little bit later this afternoon. And then the hail threat, there's a hail threat in each 3 areas, but not, particularly really a big deal for either area, that's for sure. So let's go on and look. Let's zone in on the area that has the most heightened area of severe weather today potential. So this is the latest long-range HRRR model. And really what's going to happen, we get into about midday, cluster showers and storms starting to move out of areas of southern Illinois, moving in the areas of southern Indiana. And then these will begin to intensify as the air begins to basically destabilize in this region of Kentucky and even Tennessee, Ohio today. And we'll keep this rolling here as we're getting into about the 2, 3, 4 o'clock range. This will continue to march through, and then it starts to knock on the door of areas like Lexington, Kentucky around dinner time this afternoon and evening. And this is just one simulation of what potentially can happen, but really the southern edge of this will be the most dangerous part, damaging winds, and like I said, that isolated tornado threat. Now, if you look at the most current run, it doesn't have this little extension of more storms firing up behind it. But as we get a little bit later into the afternoon, later into the evening, really we're starting to get into the evening at this point, it wants to show some more storms firing up, probably west of Lexington, Kentucky, and then into areas of basically central to areas of west central Kentucky could definitely have some isolated more storms fire up. And these look a little bit more scary. They just look a little bit more intense in general if these are to fire up and then they sag south. So the severe weather threat could continue through the evening hours and not just only the afternoon hours. And then that could potentially drift into the southern Appalachian Mountains and bring some areas like northeast areas of Tennessee, far western Virginia, and then maybe even the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee and Virginia. Some rain a little bit overnight. So I have to watch this threat. So in general, just expect, a line of storms, maybe a broken up line of storms to sweep through, especially northern Kentucky today. I'm definitely expecting some severe weather in this part of the country. No type of severe weather outbreak, but just something to watch out for. But looking at the southeast in general, besides that area I just mentioned, I don't really see much in the way of any activity, except you're getting into that time of the year here in Florida where you're just getting the inland pop-up showers and storms are going to pop up like around Orlando and things like that. So if you're vacationing in Disney World, just expect, big time heating and then pop-up showers and storms to form. This is what normally always happens. So watch out for those. Temperatures for the eastern U.S. as a whole, not a whole lot going on. And, I didn't mention, it seems like I forgot a lot of panels this morning. I guess I don't have my stuff together. But for my folks up here in the Northeast, I'm sorry to leave you guys out. Ohio, expect a rainy day. Severe weather will probably be lacking in Ohio today. But probably just a several hour period of just some good old fashioned rain is likely probably this afternoon for Ohio. But as we get into the late evening hours, this will move into PA, West Virginia, and then even areas of New York State and then southern New England to the overnight into the wee hours of the morning, overnight tonight. But for temperatures, I expect it to be a little bit cooler for the Northeast today. You might see highs as only as high as about 70 degrees along the I-95 corridor, but as you get inland, probably just in the way of 50s and 60s. Not as cool as yesterday. You're warming back up, thankfully, but you're still not going to see those really warm temperatures like you did several days ago. The Ohio Valley, it just depends on where you are. The further south you go, the more you get into the 80s. But if you get closer to these Great Lakes, the northern sections of the Ohio Valley states, only 60s and 70s for highs. And then in Michigan, where you got rain, cold air, only the 50s for highs. Wisconsin, just depends on if it's raining or not. If it's not raining and the sun comes out, temperatures will spike into the 60s and 70s. But in general today, across the south, the ridge begins to take over and a big heat wave begins to start, especially for the deep south. And I really think it's going to be very warm in areas of the southeast starting tomorrow. But Texas has been warm for a while, 80s and 90s for highs across all the states of the deep south. So just expect a hot day. South central U.S., really the only thing I'm concerned about is this area and clustering storms that could fire up in areas of southeast Colorado a little bit later today and then kind of drift into southwest Kansas and the panhandle of Oklahoma. But we'll see how intense these will be. I don't expect this to be a big deal at all. Just something to watch out for, a little cluster of storms in this area. And then, my folks up here in the north central U.S., I almost forgot about you guys. Let's back it up a little bit. You guys could see some storms today for sure, starting it off around 1 to 2 p.m. I think some storms could definitely fire up in areas of northern Minnesota today, especially northeast Minnesota, and track their way into areas of northern Wisconsin. I think the biggest threat today with these would probably just be really all hazards are there, but all hazards are a very low chance of happening. So you could have some small hail, could have some damaging winds, and there could be an isolated tornado, just a broken up line of storms swinging through with a low pressure in Canada. And so watch out, areas of northern Michigan, just south of Lake Superior, you guys could definitely see some showers and storms today, especially as you're getting to the evening hours, more so in Michigan. But these showers and storms could pack a punch in the northern sections of the country up here. So be weather aware. I don't anticipate any kind of outbreak or anything like that. Just something to watch out for. Only thing to really talk about as far as precipitation out west is another big system moving onshore for Washington State and areas of northwest Oregon. This will continue to do so. That's just a constant, always pattern for you folks. That's why they always say it rains in Seattle. It really does always rain in Seattle. It's just not a joke or a myth or anything like that. But the leftover energy will pull into areas of northern Idaho a little bit later this afternoon, bring some rain, and then the moisture will begin to drift into Montana into the late evening and overnight hours where you guys could see some rain. Anybody else, you're not probably going to see much in the way of anything as far as precipitation. Temperatures, it's warm where you don't have clouds or rain, cold air, right? So anywhere where you're not influenced by this system, well above average temperatures today. It's getting very warm in California in the valleys, and 70s, close to 80 in Wyoming. Even, I mean, pretty warm even in the higher planed elevation, the higher elevation areas, even in Wyoming, can't talk. And then in the plains of Montana, it's pretty warm too, 60s and close to 70. So very warm also in Texas, which is where it's been warm for a while. But that's all I got, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I don't have a lot of steam this morning. I'm a little tired, a little worn down. So definitely pray for me for that. Definitely trying to give myself a little boost to get going this morning. We're all humans. We all have our slower days. And today definitely feels like a slower day so far for me. So anyways, thank you all for the prayers. My little girl is feeling better. She's actually going to preschool today. I'll be taking her right after this video. So thank you all for the prayers for that. So let's just pray for this world, pray for this country. That's, there's a lot of wild things going on right now. So, God bless all y'all. I'll try to get you a video this evening, unless there's just absolutely nothing to really talk about. I'll mention the GFS is just pretty much folded to the other model guidance overnight. It started showing signs of it in my video I talked about last night, and sure enough, it is completely folded to the European and all those other model guidance. So if it holds, it was kind of a big embarrassment for the GFS early season. So we might talk a little bit about that tonight. And just some other things too. But God bless all y'all. I'll talk to y'all this evening, and y'all have a great day.